So I said I liked fruit trees in like wooded openings, and this is some in a wooded opening. So it's kind of a forest soil, and I'd say these trees are maybe 6 to 8 inches in diameter at the base. You can see it's loaded with fruit. Same with this one. And these are probably, I don't know, 16, 18 foot tall, maybe 20. And there's one that's not doing as good. Some coons crawled up there and broke a ton of branches on it, and I've been trying to nurse it back into health. And that's this one. Not doing nearly as good, but then you get the one next to it that is doing really, really well. So this soil's never been worked. If it has, it's been a long, long time. And it's just, it's got a little bit of shade in here, which I actually like. But the soil's just really good quality, well-drained soil. The soil ecology is just, it's been sitting here in its natural state for a long, long time. So these trees do really well. It's very well-drained soil. It's got a lot of topsoil, but it's crumbly. It's real nice. And these trees have blown up. So pick the right planting site. And these trees have definitely some more years to go, but already they are loaded. These trees are loaded with apples. Oh, and a coon broke that top branch, so I gotta come in here, have somebody get rid of these coons. More coons. So 20 foot tall, maybe 18. Lots and lots of apples. We're gonna add more in this spot. If you see here, this was actually thinned out. It was woods, and we kind of just took some junk out of here. Here's a hickory that's kind of regrown that I can take that out. But we took a lot of the junky stuff out. You can see back over there, I took some junk out. And I'm gonna add a bunch of diversity in here. I'll probably plant, maybe 3 or 4 different types of apple, a couple types of pears, some persimmon, chestnut, crabapple. All of it should do well in this spot. And I really, really like these soils. The only downside with this spot, the only downside, is it's tough to get to, and I don't like disturbing some of these secluded spots, but a couple times in the summer to come in here and check on things is not a big deal. So that's an intrusion level that I'm probably okay with. And I got big timber out there. And yeah, this is gonna be a cool little project. Keep adding on to. And while we're out here driving out, I just want to show you all the diversity. So there's everything from blackberries, raspberries, all sorts of forbs, broadleaves, a little bit of grass, but just young growth. And it's just tons of young growth that these deer can feed on, bed in. I mean, those little oaks, like I took that oak out, I just topped it over to kind of clear this, and they'll browse the living daylights out of that. So tons of natural browse. This is just so good for them. And it's just got a ton of diversity in here. So love having these spots with this kind of diversity. Diversity and lots of food, forage is great. Got my timber over there. Big timber. And then you can see I did some TSI in there. a ton of growth in there too. Like look at all right there. Just tons and tons of growth coming up for these critters and bedding and cover and food. You can crop through these. There's some really nice walnuts and oaks in there. And then here, just 100 yards away, it pops into my cedars. Some of these cedars are getting a little too thick. I'll deal with those later. But, so you went from big forests to lots of young growth, forbs and little trees. Now we're into cedars. And then this is kind of an open forest in there, right on the edge. I could do some edge feathering, but back in there is real thick TSI. So this stuff works. Forget all the gimmicks. Forget any gimmick you can think of. If you can have a lot of diversity, a lot of changes on your property, a lot of browse, a lot of bedding, manage your timber. I mean, there's so many different components on it, but this is not a gimmick. This works. 100% this works.